back to my channel. In our today's class, we'll learn about what is data blending, and then I'll tell you how you can add a connection or a completely new data source to your Tableau. Also, I'll tell you when to use when. So let's start. So this is my Superstore's files on which we are working from the very beginning. So there are two things that we can do. One, you have an option of connections. We can add a new connection. Also, we have an option of connecting a completely new data source. Now, what is the difference between them? You add a connection when there is a relationship between the data sources. For example, let's say I'm adding a connection So what I did, I have added a connection. Also, you can see a blue and an orange mark has appeared over here. So again, this is my another data set, but I have added a connection. I have not added a new data source. Why? Because I have common fields between them. So there is a relation between the two data sources. Therefore, we can join them using joins. This is the case with connections. Then when to add a new data source. From here you can add a new data source, and when you can do that, you need to add a completely new data source when you have no relationship between the two data source. For example, one data source is about some electronics goods and and another one is about your medical equipments. Then you can't relate them. Then you need to add a new data source. Let me add a new data source. So I have added a new data source. If I want to do any analysis on them, now what you can see, the two data sources are appearing individually on your sheet. This is my sample Superstore, and this is my sheet 1, that is data source 1. Now when we are adding multiple data sources, then comes the concept of data blending. What is data blending? Accumulating data from multiple data sources. Here comes the concept of data blending. I'll show you what is data blending. So let me show you how data blending is taking place. This is my first data source, sample Superstore, and this is my second data source, that is DS1. So if I select my customer names and then I display profits for them. So this is on my first data source. So the field that you select from your first data source, that data source will act as your primary data source, whereas the other one will act as a secondary data source. So this is my first data source. Now if I switch to second data source, what you can see, orange lines could be seen on dimensions and measures, and also a symbol like this on customer name is present. What this indicates, that data blending is taking place. Now again for the same customer name, I want to display my sales. I can do that. So basically, what is the difference between your data blending and your joining? So in data blending, what happens? First your aggregation takes place and then blending happens, right? Also, there is a limitation in data blending that we cannot control the type of join it is performing. It is by default performing your left join, and we cannot control that. So that's all for today's video. In today's video we have learned about data blending and when to add a connection and when to add a new data source. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.
Hey guys, if you like the video then please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon, and for more updates you can visit our site tutorialslink.com. Thank you.